Good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are today. Your boy SCD has got a game on Caldaris Refinery, going back to the classics here. It's going to be a, hopefully not so sloppy Saturday. Maybe it will. I think it did get submitted as a sloppy Saturday. But, you know, Kingfisher and Strider, I feel like they're solid intermediate players these days. So we'll see. Maybe I'll retract that by the end of this game. We'll have to see. It's going to be War Boss up against the Apothecary, and I'm quite keen to see this because, in all honesty, I don't know where the Orcs have gone. I'm getting no replays of the Orcs. Barely anyone is playing as Orcs in the recent League games that's ongoing. It's really odd. I don't understand where the Orcs have gone. It's funny how psychology can affect things. Not so long ago, when we had the 2.9.8.4 patch come out, there were some absolutely negligible nerfs to the Orcs. I don't even remember what the nerfs were. There were only 2 of them, and they were really negligible. And they even got a pretty sizable buff to the snare duration on stick bombers, which, to be fair, doesn't really matter because no one uses that unit. But people were saying after that patch, oh my god, another patch full of Orc nerfs, Orcs are useless. And I'm like, guys, it's a negligible change. Literally doesn't do anything. This whole argument and tangent would be a lot better if I remembered what the 2 nerfs were. But trust me, go look at the patch notes. The nerfs are ridiculous. They're pathetic. It doesn't change anything. Orcs are fine, but no one's playing them. But good old Strider, you know, he's been a War Boss main from the start as far as I'm aware. I know he's been an Orc main from the start. Definitely seen him playing a lot of the War Boss, so he's sticking to it, and that's nice. I like that. Bit of an awkward engagement for him there. Kind of did blob up a little bit. I'd like to have seen the shooters disengage and try and bait the scouts forward a little bit and maybe get one model off them. It was a big ask to expect Strider to be able to win that engagement when he has unupgraded boys against upgraded shotguns, tax and APO. You're not meant to win that from Strider's perspective. That would be absurd. He needs his boss if he wants to win those fights, but his boss was busy capping, so that's fine. Because what Strider is doing right now is he's going for a more of a tech sort of build. Notice he's got his double nodes and Kingfisher's only got 1. And of course, Strider has his Storm Boys who are going to rip. Okay, not good for Kingfisher. Too busy paying attention to the War Boss here, and I believe he lost shotgun scouts. I believe he had double shotguns. Which, to be honest, Kingfisher, is a bit weird. I understand you want shotguns because you're scared of the War Boss and his angry boys, but I think getting your tier 1.5 out a bit sooner would have been more beneficial than going double shotguns so quickly. So presumably, we're going to be seeing some ASM. Indeed we are. Because if he wanted Devastators, he would have got them out a long time ago. Now, Kingfisher needs to start dropping gens. He's floating. He needs to get gens down. At least one more gen should be coming down. And then maybe he can get devs now, because he's lost that scout squad. Or he could wait to build up enough red, though he really doesn't have a lot of red right now, to drop down a second tax squad in tier 1. That could be effective. Losing that scout squad's really brutal for poor Kingfisher. Do I have any music? No, I don't. Shit, I just realised. There you go, folks. Bit of music for you. Now, I did remember to put this one in 1080p, so I hope you guys appreciate that. Fuck me. That actually really annoyed me that I completely didn't realise the stream settings had changed to 720p and then did 4 casts in a row. Ugh, what a nightmare. Anyway. So, Strider getting caught by surprise there, obviously not expecting the ASM. It was kind of only a half-assed push against the power, of which there's not a lot anyway from Kingfisher, so it's not a big loss here for Strider to be retreating away from this engagement. Doesn't want to cede too much map control, but just losing this semi-natural requisition point, not really too big of a deal. And he's getting the VP in the mid too. He's a little bit behind on VPs. It's very hard for him to engage here. I think given that the Warboss has his spiky armor, which gives him 2 HP regen per second, I think the Warboss could go in here and do a little bit of damage, you know. There's no proper counter really to the Warboss. The Shotgun Scouts will do okay, but certainly while the attacks are away capping, there's not a lot of focus fire there. I would expect to see the Bolter coming out from the Apothecary. Bolter's just good against Orcs anyway, you know, it can basically gives him the same DPS as the Tank Marine, and that can bleed Orc boys in tier 1 pretty damn effectively. And then you've got the really nice damage and stun on the Warboss as well. Pretty good tool. It even scales quite well into tier 2 because you can stun the Slugger and the Storm Knob, because they're bloody crazy in tier 2. So it's pretty slow reactions here from Kingfisher, just 8 of a whole face full of Daka for not really too much reasoning there. I don't really like the Storm Boys jumping in here either. It's, I guess, versus lesser players, that quicker sort of engage might give them less time to micro away, but that was really telegraphed. It wasn't necessary, it's just a waste of the energy basically. Better save the energy in case a fight sort of broke out over here, but it's fine. He forces off the Tactical Marines, and on the other side the jump squads. Ooh, nice nade! Nice little nade there from Kingfisher. Yeah, kills 4 of the Slugger Boys. Strider's going to be crying about that, wishing he had nades. I mean, it does suck when you get naded on retreat and your faction doesn't have any grenades. Technically, you know, Strider does have some. He's got stick bombers, which, you know, they're not quite as good as frag grenades from the scouts. But you know, he could go commandos in tier 3 and get Mando Stabums, and then he gets frag grenades. I like this play here from Kingfisher with the scouts. Getting them nice point blank range, maximum damage. They actually do gem bash reasonably quick. Obviously this would be 33% more damage if he actually had the 4 models instead of 3 and the shotgun scouts. But the play's nice because he notices that most of the Orc army there is on the eastern side of the map, capping it up, and you can see that just from the line of sight on his points. So it's a nice way to force the enemy to move back and to protect their gen farm, which protects your gen farm if you don't think that you could take an army versus army fight, which honestly Kingfisher probably couldn't right now. Thinking a big army versus army fight, where everyone's units from all their army are present, I think Strider will have this quite easily, especially if he starts dropping down globals on the Storm Boys. You see, this is sloppy from Strider. I don't really know why he's sending the shooters over here just to get wrecked by Tax and ASM. Shooters should be hunting down the scouts, and then you want to send your boss and the Sluggers and Storm Boys to fight the ASM and Tax. So that was, macro wise, that was just a great series from Kingfisher. And it all started essentially from the little poke with the scouts here, because it dragged Strider's melee away and then left his shooters isolated so that the ASM and Tax could rout the shooters and now take this part of the map. When, like I said, I think if there was a big army versus army fight with everyone's units present, I think Strider would just roll Kingfisher over. Kingfisher now opting for the Power Axe, which is quite bold really against the Orcs. You know, it gives him extra sources of energy compared to the Bolter, so he can keep his purification rights but still be able to spam heals from the Armour of Purity. So I get it, but not having a stun for the Warboss or any of these knobs that are going to start coming out soon could be problematic. Here we go, we've got the Storm Boy knob now on the field. Does this thing... yeah, it burns energy from the target. Restores 15 energy to the APO, takes 15 from the enemy every time he swings with it. So it's actually quite nice against the Storm Boys, because as the Storm Boys start to get levels, they do actually gain the ability to start doing double jumps. But obviously if the APO can drain 15 energy every single time he swings that axe, well, the Storm Boys are not going to be double jumping anytime soon. So we see the Razorback here from Kingfisher, and it's going to be going up against the Death Dread. Strider's obviously seen this Razorback. He's not really happy to commit to a big fight yet because he has no serious anti-vehicle, just the Death Dread itself, but he now has Tank Busters on the way. But Strider needs to make some plays though. Strider is precariously low on VPs here with only 180. Kingfisher's barely lost a single VP with 476, so he needs to get pushing forward. So the Death Dread's just going to charge straight at the Razorback, which has not been microed very well. You have missile attacks here, but I mean, they can just get meleeed. Yeah, this is looking dodgy. Where is the heal? Has he done a heal yet, Kingfisher? Doesn't look like he has. He's got full energy, but I guess the axe could be the reason for that. There you go, that was a heal. Not a very good one, if I'm honest. And Stomboy is ripping the attacks to pieces. Sluggers did their job. Now the War Boss comes in, and that's going to be another dead ASM model. These ASM need to retreat. They're probably going to die. They got Stormboys in retreat path. Oh no. Oh dear. They had nowhere near enough energy for a jump. I think Kingfisher was thinking he must have forgot that he'd already used 2 jumps with them. Not good. And now Tank Busters and the Burners on the Death Dread are going to make very, very quick work of the gen farm here of Kingfisher. So Kingfisher now, wow, how fast things change. Is Strider really going to steal? No, I was going to say. Okay, Kingfisher needs to get on with bashing this. We'll get that gen. Not much shooters can do about it. Needs to rotate the busters. She will. Finishes the gen bash here on Kingfisher, so Kingfisher now has very little power income. Yeah, Busters are just going to retreat, and then obviously they'll go to the west instead. Sluggers can probably charge forward or swamp them to get that reduced range damage taken. Just zone out the Razorback for now, until the Tank Busters come over. So at least that way, Strider maintains his power advantage. He's got a very good amount of power income here. Yeah, micro slip-ups here from Kingfisher, losing those 2 scouts very unnecessarily there, walking them straight forward into the Slugger Boys. Obviously looking at combat going on over here, we do see a drop pod, calling in more tactical marines, potentially see some Stern Guard here, we'll have to see. See that energy gearing from the Apo in good action here. He's got that heal ready, that might be able to swing this fight. Oh, well, and that's exactly why Strider is going to drop down the Use Your Choppers and the Ard Boys there on his Storm Boys, and they are indeed going to win that fight with both of those globals. You would expect that though, you know, that's a lot of red. What is that, 175 red, is it? Or is Use Your Choppers even more than 100 red these days? Either way, that's nearly 200 red. But it does help the Storm Boys win that fight. And a War Truck now? Really, Strider? That seems a little bit excessive. I would honestly, at this point, just be going tier 3. You know, just save up for tier 3. That's a lot of requisition. Whoa. Why did everything just go, like, dark for me? Very weird. I don't even think that came out in the recording. That's so weird. Whatever. Trippy as fuck. I think I have a setting on my monitor that when the sun rises, you know, it changes like the, I don't know what the word is, the contour, like the brightness. It's not the brightness, but it's like the brightness. And it makes it look warmer. And it just kicked in literally in the middle of this cast and just freaked me the fuck out. Anyway. Look at the float on Kingfisher, man. I hope he gets those gens up ASAP. Like, what are you doing, Kingfisher? You just capped the point, mate. Please get a node and get some gens up. Because you, my friend, have a lot of requisition. P-Devs would probably be a pretty good shout right now. I mean, they're very cheap on the power front, so why not? Why not? Okay. Sluggers are in range stance here, which is a colossal fuck up. Okay, now they're going into melee. Oh dear, oh god. Oh god, tank. Oh dear. Sluggers, DPS, insane. No, Strider, what are you doing? Strider, for fuck's sake. He stopped to repair the war truck. He could have just wiped out the stern guard. Why? Why did he stop? My guy. My guy. The stern guard, get out. With 10 HP. What? Strider. Fucking hell, man. And don't be complaining about orcs being weak when you're doing shit like that. Oh my god. Well, the stern guard are going to live to fight another day. Kingfisher has an absurd amount of VPs. Strider needs to get these VPs on lockdown. Forget capping this point. Once you've decapped it, just move on and decap the VPs. Like capping this requisition, you know you're not going to be able to hold it. So it's not even going to have the ability to mature. So it's just, you know, 10 requisition in a minute. Who cares? Take the VP. That is what we need to be concerned about right now when Strider's down to 112 VPs. So Kingfisher's opting for a whirlwind, which I find pretty questionable, to be honest. I would definitely go for the P-devs because they are way cheaper on power. And power is obviously something that is currently very scarce for Kingfisher. And the other problem I see with the whirlwind is that there are already tank busters on the field. So that whirlwind isn't as protected as it might be versus some compositions. Not to mention the Stormboy Nob does heavy melee. So he could jump in on it and chop it to pieces. Super late on that Angels of Death. Should have used that ages ago. I guess he didn't realise he wasn't winning this fight. Stormboys, I was going to say Stormboys might die here, but no, they're just reinforcing off the war truck. Did lose the knob. Wait, double whirlwind? Is this... This has to be an Overwatch mistake. What is going on? What is going on? Okay, I'm just trying to digest what is actually happening here. I don't understand why Kingfisher currently has double whirlwinds, but there's a good amount of DPS coming out of the stern guard here. Okay, a barrage comes in from the tank busters that instantly kills one of the whirlwinds, and this has to be GG, right? There's no way. Like, how can Kingfisher stay in this game? I don't think Kingfisher realised when he sent in this replay how much he got wrecked. Strider is tier 3 at this point. And I feel like the stern guard and the missile attacks haven't really had a very good engagement all game. That's a wrap. That is gonna be a wrap, I'm sure of it. We've got drop pod attacks, but I don't see what can possibly come of this. He has no power. I'm not sure about this Power X Apo either. He's done okay. I suppose if the ASM were preserved... Love the Deftra special there, just yeeting the Apothecary. Perhaps if the ASM preservation was a bit better, there would be some utility to this Power Axe Apo, but really Kingfisher has not been in control of this match for a very long time now, and ultimately it's just the VPs that basically kept him in the game. Hunter Killer Missile there coming out of the Whirlwind, actually going to finish off the Death Drip. I guess elongate this match for a short while longer. Look at this absolute gaggle of orcs in the base for Strider right now. I'm afraid the very, very scarce forces of Kingfisher here have got no chance. No chance. I mean, at this point, Strider could just wait for a friggin' battle wagon. Oh, I think he was waiting for all of his units to get back and then use the Calder Boys. Probably should have waited for his Storm Boys though, since they're only on one model, but
Fight on and drive the enemy back.
The VPs are so low. There's no way. No way Kingfisher can win this. Can't happen. I refuse to believe it. It'd be amazing if somehow he did, but it can't happen, surely. Why is he still getting whirlwinds? What kind of elaborate troll is this? Why is he going for his third whirlwind right now? I mean, it did cook the slugging up there, but jeez. Not sure. I was gonna say, have we got tank busters in the truck? Of course we do. Cheeky little bit of truck buster action here, gonna finish off the whirlwind, and that is basically why I find the choice of going for these whirlwinds extremely strange. Extremely strange. Rear armor hunter killer might kill the truck here. He's not using it though. Come on. Oh. Kingfisher. He missed it. Probably could have killed the truck there. Not that it matters, obviously. We've now got flash kits on the way. Somehow Kingfisher does have a 2-to-1 cap, but yeah, it's going to be very short-lived. Shooter's probably just sacked off there. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the pop of Strider. He's got a lot of unreinforced models. Just die, please. And then he uses a heal and gets half of his HP back. Blasters? I guess it makes sense. Kind of kills everything right now. Look at the size of these guns, man. Imagine how heavy they must be. It must be absurd. Because they look big even when being carried by flash kits, which are orc knobs. So for God's sake, these guns are probably fucking 50 kg or something. You'd also think they'd do more melee damage as well if they swing that fucker at you. Oh my god. It would take out your cranium. And I'm not exactly sure what the attacks are doing here. Well, I am actually. They're dying. How is this game still going on exactly? Yeah, this was a sloppy Saturdays, boys. Fuck me. Come on, Strider, just end this, my lad. What is going on? Are you telling me he's gonna lose it? He loses the shooter boys as well now. What is this nonsense? Why is the whirlwind so far forward? I just... What? What is this? Okay, well that's it now. Sternguard get wiped. Another drop pod. Where are the tacs? The tacs are back at the base. It's fucking Apo, man. Level 5 killing everyone. I'm gonna take a tango with a war boss. Oh my goodness. Now some tank busters are getting beaten up, even though they're level 4. These guys just get battered in melee by these tactical marines. Finally, we have an upgrade coming out for the war boss, the Power Claw. Honestly, feels like that was pretty overdue.
The enemy falters.
Hard boys on the tank busters. This might be the end of him. He's totally got a heal, hasn't he, at this point? With the Armor of Purity, he must do. Oh, well, he goes down. Grabbed there by the war boss and flung aside. Absolutely ridiculous match. Jeez, yeah, the Blastmaster damage. It's real. It is real. Oh my god. One more barrage from all of them? Yeah, wipes the squad. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, kinda satisfying to see that shit. And the slugger knob here just executing that marine.
Space Marines on the field.
Are you kidding me?
Victory is but a prelude
Fuck
to the next battle.
off. How did Kingfisher win this game? What? Strider! Oh my god! What are you doing? Oh my god. How did the tactical marines manage to get away, rotate all the way around here, and decap the natural VP of Strider? How did this happen? Look how close this VP is from being captured. And then it would have been a 1-to-1 cap, and the VPs would have stopped bleeding. Do you remember that moment earlier, guys, where I was saying you won't be able to hold this requisition point anyway, so it's not going to mature, so capping it, you spend all that time to get maybe 5 extra requisition this game? Why don't you just go decap the VP? Well, if he did that, he wouldn't have had so few VPs. He would have caught this. He would have won. Oh, what a sad, sad game for the poor orcs. They just gibbed the marines with the blasters. The slugger knob just ripped that marine to pieces in melee. Glorious performance from the boys. But they lose. What a sad, sad day for the orcs. Well, that's what you get when you tune into fucking Sloppy Saturdays, that's all I can say. I hope you enjoyed that one, folks. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. Help us out in our eternal battle against the algorithm. If you want more of this kind of thing, but not quite so sloppy, generally just high-level games, you can find it on Patreon. Link in the description. Torpid signing out.